Okay, so today we're going to work on hip stability and we will be continuing to build on the sequence of Warrior Three. So if you have a yoga strap, a lot of you at home probably have been using your strap just around your feet and to kind of help with some stretching. But today I want to use it in a bind. So if you have a strap that has loops on the end like this or a plastic little ring, um, we're going to slide the end through both loops and then come back over one and under the other, just like a belt, right? And when you do that with your strap, you can tighten it, but then it locks into place when you pull the other end. And that's what we're gonna want for today is we're gonna want a loop that's about, well, big enough to put around your thighs in bridge pose, right? So spoiler alert, we're gonna do bridge pose and we're gonna press our legs out into the resistance of a band. If you don't have a band, you're going to use your hands. But I just wanted to give you that setup first because we really haven't looked at that before. And I don't want to assume that anybody knows all the tricks of the trade. All right, so when you've got your band, you're just going to set that aside and let's take a seat. So as we begin this practice today with a focus on hip stability, I want to really get you grounded. So take a hold of the flesh, your booty, and wiggle your hips down into your cushion or onto the floor. And then we're going to take our hands and press down on our thighs. Imagine just trying to imprint yourself here in the earth beneath you. Imagine that you're sitting on clay and you want to just make a print of your body down in this clay. And as soon as you feel that seat, lift tall through the crown of your head. So you kind of want to feel this space between the ribs and the hips, from the waist down, planted, firm, strong. And from the rib cage up, light, airy, and spacious. You can close your eyes if you like and just take a few deep breaths into the space of your body. Our hips are an amazing wonderland that are made for both mobility, right? The ability to move our legs in all directions and do all the things we do. But we also need stability there. We need strength. We're taking the weight of the upper body, a single structure, and we're dividing it into two separate structures, our legs. And so this hub needs to be stable and strong to support our movement. And that's what we're going to play with today. Let's do a couple of upper body stretches before we get moving. So start with shoulders. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Take a moment to just notice all the little kinks and cricks and places where things are tight. And then just shake your shoulders out. Let's drop one ear to one shoulder, and then we'll roll across the chest to the other. Just taking these first few moments to just set aside anything that feels heavy or cumbersome. This is your time on your mat, your chance to just let go of anything that's been burdening you, at least temporarily, and just come into your body and feel this space here. Lift your chin, reach your arms up high, wrap your left fingers around your right wrist and pull that right arm up and over. As you do, just feel space in the right armpit, the right ribs, the right waist. Breathe deeper, feel more. And then come back to center, switch. Just feel all the way down into the side of your left hip, breath, space. And then release to center, lower your arms, and shake out your hands. So remove anything you're sitting on. We're going to come down onto our backs, and you'll need a block. If you don't have a block, a rolled up towel or a firm cushion is going to be just fine. So come on down onto your back, hug your knees into your chest first, give yourself a little bit of a massage. Explore movement in your back. And really specifically start now to notice the movement available to you in your hip sockets. So as you exhale, you're going to pull your knees closer to you, kind of give a little squeeze to the low belly. And then on your inhale, the hands come to the sides and push away. Inhale. Exhale to squeeze. Inhale, push away. In your mind's eye, picture these two large bones, your femur bones, your thigh bones. And at the top of those bones, there is a ball that plugs into the side of your pelvis. That's your hip socket. So imagine a ball and socket joint just moving forward and back in your outer hips. Let your feet fall to the floor, grab your block, and I'm going to put it on its middle side, right between my thighs, pretty close to the knees. Adjust your feet as you need to so it feels like your legs and your feet are in line, and then just squeeze in on that block. And you'll notice the muscles of the inner thighs, your adductors, are turning on. Those are important muscles for hip stability. You might also notice that your abdominals got a little more firm just in this adduction motion. So we're going to keep that squeeze and inhale up into bridge pose. Adjust your feet again if you need to so you feel really stable. You want those shins to be pretty much straight up and down. Squeeze in on the block, lift up with your hips. If you like, you can reach your shoulders, your arms underneath you, and take a few breaths here in this bridge pose. Very active bridge pose. Start to get familiar with that hugging in, because we want to be able to do this even when we're not holding onto a block. We want to engage our muscles in this way. And then release down. Still holding on to the block. You're going to straighten one leg and then lower and straighten the other. And a little bit sorry, not sorry that our legs are going to be a little sore tomorrow, but sore in the best way. Sore in the reminder that these are muscles that we haven't been using as much. All right, go ahead and take that block out. Bring the soles of your feet together and just let those knees open up, and you'll feel a really nice stretch for the muscles that you've been working. Just take a breath here, let those muscles relax a bit. And then go ahead and find that band. Again, if you don't have a band, you're going to use your hands. So you're going to take the loop around your feet and slide it up around just above your knees. And we'll do the same thing, but now with pressure outward. So if you don't have a band, you're just going to keep your hands here and imagine being able to just push out against the band. Adjust the width so that your legs are straight. And once again, we'll lift up into bridge pose. You can bring your arms beneath you again if you like. Take deep breaths, but notice now the difference as you're using your abductors, your outer thighs, your outer hip muscles. And these are the muscles that hold our leg bones in. So lift and feel your muscles alive, active, strong, stable. And then release, hands to the floor. And we'll do the same thing again. As you press your legs out, you're going to straighten one leg and then bend it and straighten the other and bend it. So a lot of people who come to yoga are naturally flexible people. And those people that are super bendy, people that can just drop right down into splits and do back bends easily, those people more than anyone else need stability. They need what we're doing today, and it's a tough sell because flexible people like to be flexible. But this is the match. This is where your body meets itself in the middle. And 1 + 1 = 3. All right, so we're going to release that. You're going to take the band off. And let's cross the right leg over the left. Drop your knees to the left and come into a twist, giving you a stretch now for that outer right leg. Exaggerate some breaths here. And as you come back to center on the next exhale, switch your legs, cross the left over and drop your legs to the right. Your head can turn to the left. Breathe into this outer hip where you were just working. And from here, if you uncross your legs, let the left arm come over. You're lying on your right side. And we're just going to press ourselves up from there. And we'll make our way around to all fours. You can keep your block handy. We'll come back to it. And then with your hands under your shoulders, I'd like you to press your knees into the ground and imagine the block is there. Just imagine that you're squeezing in. Your legs aren't going to move. You're just engaging those inner thigh muscles. And then imagine the belt is there and you're just pressing out. Do that a few times. The floor holds your knees in place. They might roll a little tiny bit, but squeeze in, press out. Squeeze in, press out. It's kind of like a mini thigh master. Squeeze in and press out. And then just settle back into child's pose. Take a breath here. Shift your hips from side to side. Let's tuck the toes and come up into downward facing dog. And here we'll just pedal the heels and shift our weight. Your feet are about hips distance apart. Roll through the feet, come up onto the toes and back down into the heels. Big breath in and a long sigh out. So reach your heels down as much as you can without moving your feet. Hug your thighs together as if there were a block there. And then press out as if you had a band. Squeeze in. Press out. It's not something you can see, but you should definitely feel the dynamic work you're doing, pulling in and pressing out. Looking forward, let's walk our feet to our hands. Uttanasana, forward fold. Press your hands to your shins, lift and lengthen. And then sweep the arms all the way up, extended mountain. As your hands meet, reach your arms back behind your ears a little bit more, a little bit of a back bend. Find standing. And then cactus your arms, open your chest. Say hello to your day. And let your hands come together in front of your heart. So we're going to do one sun salutation, and I'd like you to not worry or think too much about the stability here. Just find the flow, and then we'll go back and we'll add in some components. So inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come into plank pose. You can be on your knees or your toes. Lower halfway down. Rise up to cobra or upward facing dog. And send your hips back. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Look forward. Bring your feet to your hands. Lift halfway. And exhale, forward fold. Take a hold of your block, reach up to standing, arms come all the way up overhead, a little back bend. And then exhale, block in front of your body. All right, so we're gonna do that again, but this time we're gonna take our block and I'm gonna have it on its smallest side. Depending on the width of your hip bones, you might turn it sideways. But we're going to squeeze, try to avoid the bones of the knees, but just above the knees. Okay? So as we find Tadasana here, root down through your feet and feel that inward squeeze. And feel it all the way up into your hips. You might even use your hands to realize that this is causing all of the muscles in your hips to be a little more firm and strong, stable. All right, so mountain pose. Inhale the arms up, squeeze the block as you come into a little back bend. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, press to half lift. And exhale, now you're gonna have to tiptoe back to downward facing dog without dropping your block. Squeeze in on the block. Inhale, plank pose. Knees or toes. Lower halfway down and then lift, cobra or upward facing dog. Come back to your down dog. And notice how that feels to be hugging into the midline of your body. You'll be finding the center of your strength. Then we'll have to either jump or tiptoe again, feet to hands. Press to lift halfway and fold forward. Give that block an extra squeeze. Sweep the arms high. And bring your hands to your heart. Let's open the arms wide and take the hands behind, coming into chest expansion. We're still squeezing the block, feeling the strength in the midline of the body, even when we're in a little bit of a back bend. On the exhale, hinge from the hips, squeeze your block, forward fold, arms behind you and high. Deepen your breath. Lengthen your body. Come up to a half lift, release your hands, press to your shins, and let your hips come down into chair pose, Utkatasana. Hands come to heart. I'm going to twist both ways. So from down here in our chair, we're holding this block, twist to your right side. The elbow can touch the thigh or slightly reach outside. Top hand presses down, belly squeezes in. And you're just really aware of your strength in the middle of your body. Come back to center, square your hips and switch, twisting toward your left side. Navel comes into spine on those exhales, really purging the breath. And then come back to center, rise up, open your arms again, take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, Tadasana. Remove the block, shake your legs a bit. Our legs get a little tired of that, right? All right, so set it down for just a moment and let's begin this sequence of moving toward Warrior 3 with hip stability. So first off, let's do a little test run. You're gonna put your weight in your left foot, hands at heart center, and I'd like you to just essentially throw yourself into Warrior 3 the way we always do. So basically we lift a leg, we reach arms, and then we wobble. I'd like you to kind of feel that for a second. We're leaving a lot to chance when we just move into a balancing pose like that. Try it on both sides. And we're gonna try to prove to ourselves today the benefit of hip stability for balancing. And come back. All right, block returns. And now we want to hold the block just a little bit higher. So not all the way up into the groin, but maybe halfway, split the difference. We're going to start by taking our left toes back, and you won't be able to get them very far holding on to the block, right? Hands come to the crease of the hip, sternum lifts, and we're just going to hinge forward from our hip. You might bend your right knee a little bit, and that back foot can leave the ground. We're just going to call this an ugly Warrior 3. We can be judgmental. It's a little inhibited. Get the feel of hugging into midline as you hinge forward from the hips. Feel what's happening in the right hip as it tries here to stabilize you. And then we're going to switch. Stand tall. Right toes back. They probably don't go too far. Soften this left knee and then just begin to hinge from the hips. There's that sense of hugging in through the midline. And up we come. Release your block. So every time we do something like that, your body learns something new at a minuscule level. I'm going to trust that process. Reach up, fold forward. Come up halfway and step back into downward facing dog. Again, imagining that you're hugging into midline. Let's shift forward and come down onto our knees. And we're going to do some birthday push-ups today. It's our friend Gigi's birthday, 72 years young. And I think my math is right, 9 sets of 8. Yeah, so 8 yogi push-ups. We'll use these to help us stay warm in between these sequences. And send your hips back, child's pose. From tabletop, we're going to start to do something that if you were around in the 80s with me, you knew these as fire hydrants. So we're just going to lift one leg out to the side and return in the other. So there are our outer hips again. our abductors. As you do these, feel the strength of your core, the length of your spine. We'll do one more on each side, finding these muscles. And then shift forward. Let's do a second set, 8 yogi push-ups. Building, keeping the heat. You can opt out of these at any time and just hold plank or child's pose. And we'll meet there. Come into the center, turn to sit in a 90-90 position. So the front leg's bent at 90. I've got my left leg in front, back leg bent at 90. All right, so then we're gonna take a bend over toward the side of the back leg. Reaching toward. You'll feel a stretch in your ribs, all the way down into the hip. And then come up and over, rest on either your left hand or elbow. Right arm reaches. And although this seems like it's delicious, I'm going to ask you to work while you're here, lifting and lowering that leg. Hip stabilizers. And return yourself back to center. We're just going to take a twist. So go ahead and look over your back shoulder. Nice tall spine, big breaths. And then come back to your tabletop position. Let's do 8 more yogi push-ups. Set number 3. So nice of Gigi to give us the gift of strong triceps for her birthday. Thanks, Gigi. Come back. And let's find that mermaid seat or 90-90 seat on the other side. So now the right leg is forward, the left leg is back, trying for about 90 degrees in both knees. All right, we'll go the difficult way first. Lift up and over toward your back leg. Should feel like you can't go very far. You're kind of stuck there. Nice, everybody, up and over. Either rest on the hand or the left elbow, or sorry, right elbow. Left arm reaches. And then outer leg, lift and lower. And go ahead and come out of that back to your tabletop position. 8 yogi push-ups. As you're doing these, see if you can keep your shoulder blades broad. And we're going to come into downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up in the air. Bend the knee, open the hip. We're going to do some hip circles here. So this is showing you your natural hip mobility, your natural range of motion. It's also building stability by working all the little muscles that hold the bone into the socket. Just switch sides. Left leg comes up and open, and then circles. You can go either direction, go both. And both feet down. Let's step our right foot to the top of our mat and drop the back knee to the ground. Coming into a kneeling lunge. So everything we've done so far has been inner and outer, sideways. Now we're going to start to pull some dynamic tension from front to back. So I'd like you to plant this right foot, but imagine sliding your foot backwards. And that should feel like your leg muscles engage. And then without moving, imagine sliding the left knee forward. So if your foot and your knee could wrinkle the middle of your mat, what would that feel like as you're hugging front to back? Keep that sensation while you tuck your back toes. And now the foot is imaginary sliding back as the back toes are sliding forward. Can you feel that front to back dynamic tension? Keep that while you come up into a 3-point balance. So can you create stability around this standing leg, front, back, inner, outer? You can stay here or press with one hand or both hands. And at this point, the arms really are just accessories. So you can take your arms and your hands wherever you like, but I'd really like you to focus on this right hip stability. And then let's release the left foot to the right. With soft knees, slowly rise up. You're gonna feel like you live in two different worlds here, right and left. Take a back bend, cactus your arms, lift your chin. And then with hands to heart, let's fold forward. Left foot stays where it is, right foot comes back for a kneeling lunge. Give yourself a joyful moment of stretch before we start working. You're probably starting to see what I mean about how flexible people don't like this kind of practice because it's hard. It'd be easier just to dump into our joints and stretch. So let's try dynamic tension. Press down through the left foot and imagine pulling it backwards. You're going to feel those hamstrings engage. Imagine dragging the right kneecap forward, making a wrinkle in the middle of your mat. So there's your hip stability from front to back. Keep that as much as possible while you tuck the back toes, and then imagine squeezing, making that wrinkle in the middle of your mat again. Probably feel your core engaged. We're going to maintain all that stability we've built, coming up into a 3-point balance. So you're really powerful in that left foot. You might even continue to imagine sliding that foot backwards. Option to take your hands wherever you like or leave them on the floor. They're just accessories at this point. Can you breathe? Be here with the strength and stability of your body. And then release your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Shifting forward onto the knees, set number 5, yogi push-ups, 8. When you hit 8, friends, lower to your belly and lift up into Sphinx pose. Let's give ourselves a little bit of belly stretch, back strength. This is another place to imagine pulling the elbows back and dragging the hips forward. And release down to the mat. Arms open out into a T. Bend your left knee and roll that foot up and over behind you. So we'll leave the hip strength alone for a moment. We'll come into a little upper body stretch. Take deep breaths. If you'd like a little bit more shoulder work, you can bring this arm behind you. And then come back to center, switch sides, tee up your arms, bend the right knee, roll back. Let yourself feel opening and stretch. And back to our belly. Bring your hands to your shoulders. Set number 6, yogi push-ups. Again, you can opt out of these, just taking plank pose or child's pose. And let's meet in downward facing dog. Lifting the right leg high, exhale, step forward, drop the back heel. Let's come up into warrior 1. We'll do a little flow here to kind of get things moving. Exhale, lower over your front leg, scoop the arms up and open. Exhale over. Just kind of moving your energy, moving the prana. And then up into warrior 1, let's bring our hands to our hips. So warrior 1 moves into warrior 3. And in order to do that, we need stability. So press into your right foot, take your hands on your right thigh, the way we did in the warm-up. Kind of push yourself down into the clay, right? This is our firm, strong leg. Right hand to the crease of the right hip, press down there. All right, so before we move to balance, imagine squeezing a block in. Imagine pressing a band out. And imagine this wrinkle in the middle of your mat. So there should be a lot of strength there as you begin to lift up onto your back toes. See if you lost any of those directions, and bring them back in, inner, outer, front to back. And then find just the very tip of your toe on the mat. Do it again, inner, outer, front to back. And now we'll start to explore our warrior 3. And for some of us, warrior 3 is just lifting the foot off the floor. We're still working on the balance piece, but maybe the stability piece is helpful. So you can stay in a diagonal, or you can work towards a flat line. Again, the arms are accessories. Imagine squeezing a block. Imagine pressing out on a band. Imagine a wrinkle on your mat. And come back again to warrior 1. Woo, inhale up. Exhale over the leg. Inhale up. Exhale over. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to mat. Downward facing dog. And you can shake that leg out. And coming forward for set 7, yogi push-ups, 8 push-ups. We love birthdays around here. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Left leg extends. Step through. Drop your back heel. Come up into warrior 1 and just make big circles. Exhale over the leg. Just let this energy distribute and flow. And we'll come up into warrior 1. Hands come to the hips. And we'll start to do the work of planting this leg. So these physical cues might be helpful. Thumb to the crease of the hip, anchor down. And now imagine squeezing a block, pressing out on a band, and drawing the feet closer together. And as you do that, lift up onto your back toes and readjust, inner, outer, front to back. Bring yourself up to where you're barely touching the right toes. So here's the base of our warrior 3. Squeeze a block, press a band, wrinkle your mat, and when you're ready, come to your level of warrior. Really aware of the stability of this joint holding you here. Let your leg feel heavy, strong, and solid. And your torso feel light and spacious and airy and free. Arms wherever you want them. Let's release to standing. Whew. Big exhale, everybody. Step that right foot back, find your warrior 1, and let's flow. And let these breaths be a little louder, like big sighs. One more time, big breath in. Exhale, hands to mat, downward facing dog. Shake that leg out. You know, set number 8, here we go. 8 yogi push-ups. And we'll find our way into child's pose. Place something under your forehead that allows you to rest here. Breathe into the back of your body. Feel the folds at your hips, your knees. And then come up into tabletop. Kick the right foot off the edge of the mat. Your knee stays here, so we open up into a kneeling side plank. And then the left leg lifts and lowers. Top leg, whatever leg you have on top, lifts and lowers. As you're doing this, can you feel the hip stability of your bottom leg? Come up, bend the knee, grab the ankle, and give yourself a satisfying stretch. Kick your foot into your hand, press your chest forward, take some deep breaths. And we're just gonna switch sides. So you can turn to face the other wall, or you can come up to kneel and extend your leg the other way. And lift and lower the leg. And just take this moment in gratitude for these two hips that allow us so much movement, mobility, and also offer us stability to distribute the weight of our body. And then lift the leg, bend the knee, take a hold. And just kick your foot into your hand and take some deep breaths. All right, it's our final set of birthday push-ups for Gigi. The rule is when you finish your last push-up, you say out loud, "Happy birthday, Gigi." That's 70, 71, 72. Happy birthday, Gigi. We love you. I think we've earned the right to lay down on our backs. Yes? And to stretch what we've been working. So we're going to come onto our backs and take a lying down pigeon or figure four. If you are really craving regular pigeon, go for it. All right, so down here, we're going to pull the legs in toward us. And I'm going to ask you to take your hand or your elbow, forearm, on the outside of that knee and push the knee into your hand or your arm. As you do that, you're pulling your legs closer to you. But what we're doing is we are stretching as we're working our stability. We're working flexibility and strength at the same time. Release that hand, place it on the inside of the knee and push it away from you. And breathe. See if you feel a difference. The legs stay in a figure four, arms open. Drop your feet both over to the left side. So you drop your figure four to the left and look right. So this is your twist. Exaggerate the breath here. You should feel a nice, easy stretch around the outer hip. The bottom inner thigh is relaxed. And then bring your legs back to center and we'll switch. I'm going to shake them out a little bit and then create your figure four on the left side. As you bring your legs in, wrap your hand or arm around the outside of the left leg and push that leg into the arm. So you're pushing your bent leg away from you, or your closer leg, as you are pulling in that farther leg. Breathe into the sensation that you feel here. It might be intense, not painful. And then switch, press the knee away from you. So you're pulling in on one leg and pushing away on the other. And then drop the foot, open the arms, and twist. The head rolls toward the left side. Take really deep breaths. Allow your muscles to relax. Ease your way back into center. And let's take the feet out toward the corners of our mat now, and then just bounce your calves on the ground. Just like give your legs a little Just a little bouncy massage on the earth. And then let them rest. Flop your feet in and out. And then just let them stop in their most relaxed place. Turn your head to the right and the left and find that place on the back of your head that feels easeful. Soften your eyes. Observe your breath. As you rest here on the earth, feel your body. Feel the weight of your body surrendering to gravity. Feel the density of your bones, your body resting here, the stability. Stable, grounded, safe, planted here. And the Yoga Sutras tell us that we need an equal blend of steadiness and ease. We could use the words stability and mobility, hard and easy. So in addition to feeling the denseness, the heaviness of your body, can you also feel the ease and the lightness? The way breath moves through your body effortlessly, the tingling in your fingertips and your face and your toes, the softness around your heart, the amazing cascade of blood flow and hormones surging through your body right now like a beautiful river. Sukha, sweetness, ease. When you feel ready to complete this practice, take your time stretching and moving your way back to a seat. And we'll finish with our hands in front of our heart. And as a reminder of what we practiced today, I'd like you to press your palms together and press with a lot of force, press with a lot of strength. So this is sthira, steady, firm, and it's necessary and it's hard, but we can't function in life if we're too hard, too steady, too firm. Now take your hands out to where they don't quite touch. And this is sukha, this is easy, and it's necessary. We can't function in a life of too much ease and effortlessness. So find the place where they touch with the perfect balance of strength and softness. Sthira sukha, steady and sweet. May we step into our day with both in equal measure. Namaste.